Hello. Today the question is a little bit different than the usual. What does define me? And disclaimer, I don't have the answer. I just have some mental tricks and plays that we can play together, but honestly speaking, I don't know. So let's take, for instance, the Star Trek transporter, or there is a person like in the Altered Carbon series that it's going to be transferred in all of his memories from one body to the other. Or in the case of the transporter, you have the person in the Enterprise and after some seconds and a little bit of a blurring light, this the very same person, the very same, appears on another planet. So is the guy, that's the question, is the guy at the end of the transportation the very same person at the beginning? We don't know how the transporter really works, but let's assume that it's gonna convert your atoms into energy and then the other way back, so from energy to atoms. Well, in that case, technically speaking, you will not be composed by the very same atoms. So the conclusion is that you are another person that thinks and acts and looks like you, but it's not you. Typically, the philosophers in that case would bring up the case of Theseus' ship, and it's pretty simple. You have Theseus starting from a ship, and then at the end of the sailing, through several different changes over time, the ship that is coming back is, from a material perspective, absolutely different. There's nothing else remaining from the original version. And the question is again, is this the same Theseus ship? Or another question, is this Theseus ship? Well, if we think of our body, there are some cells that are permanent cells and they are not capable of regeneration. An example, the brain cells, but even heart cells, muscles and red blood cells. They are called terminally differentiated and not proliferative in postnatal life. So we might assume that we change over time, but something sticks with us, like our brain. Well, we have to say that this is not about the possibility of not having any regeneration. So for example, you might have your tissues injured, and in that case, even red blood cells and so on would be regenerated. So this would really not bring us to any right direction. So maybe the answer is time. You're allowed to change, but over time. So not at the very same moment, like in the transporter, but you can change over time some parts of you, and it's like the older cells passing your heritage to the new cells, and you still remain you thanks to this process, this legacy process. But again, over time, you might end up being a very different person from a physical perspective. So time is again not the right answer about what might define you, or the trick to define something that copes and stays with you forever. And then, just to complicate things, I'm always used to ask myself, how can I know that right now, at this very moment, I'm not just a copycat with injected memories from another myself? I would have no clue about that. I would think, and I'm thinking, that I am the original one, that I'm myself. But honestly speaking, there would be no way for me to understand if I'm a copycat or not. And in the end, just to overcomplicate, we might even add in parallel a conversation about you as, a person. So defining you not just from your from a physical perspective, but from your mentality, your memories, your knowledge, and so on. So exactly how you are wired in. And again, let's take the example of a person, and we might ask ourselves, is this grandpa, this elderly person, the very same person who was when he just, was born? So you are comparing the grandpa and the very same person, but way, way younger, maybe some years after he was born. And again, the time has changed this person very profoundly from a physical and I don't know even how to say it, soul perspective, mindset perspective, the wiring perspective. So honestly, this is a trick that has always caught my attention, and I don't have an answer. But just brushing through TikTok, I got the opportunity to see a quick video on the Star Trek transporter, and I just want to share with you my typical thoughts when it comes to transferring a person from one place to the other, or from one body to the other. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I wish you a great start into this brand new year. Take care. Bye.